Hello, this is Pastor Kevin McNeil here at Bethany Christian Church, coming to you with an update. As it is now Friday, June 12th, here in our lovely city, we are experiencing some bright, sunshiny days, and I invite you to make sure that you're taking a moment just to take a step outside of your home, breathe in the fresh air, feel the sunlight, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. That is one of the things I think that sometimes we forget to do, even in times like this where we're being inconvenienced by this physical distancing and all of these things, to make sure that we're taking opportunities to enjoy the moments, to find ways to make sure that we're enjoying the people around us, that we are staying connected, and that we are um, finding opportunities to revive ourselves, reduce our stress level. There's an exercise that I do that helps me in my own life from time to time when it comes to dealing with my own stress level, because contrary to popular belief, sometimes being a pastor is a little stressful, especially when you're a husband and a father and a brother and a son and all those other things that come along with it. And so there are moments when I simply stop and take deep breaths. And so I would like for you to do this with me. We're gonna stop. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths together. That's a centering exercise I like to do for myself from time to time. Just stop, close my eyes, kind of shut out the rest of the world, take a deep breath, usually three, to help me kind of slow down and get my thoughts together, and then figure out the next steps. One of the things that we have to be mindful of is that this is a really stressful time for our congregation, for our communities, for our nation, for this world, as there are a lot of unknowns still. There are a lot of things going on. There are a lot of unanswered questions. And so, take an opportunity to stop, breathe, relax, um, you know, take those moments, those comfort moments, as they are needed. Our leadership team met earlier this week, and we were discussing, things going on in the life of our congregation. And as we have been moving through this time, we have currently set a tentative date of August 1st as when we will open up our sanctuary, which means that the first Sunday in August, August 2nd, we will actually be coming to you for our first in-person um, Sunday gathering, our first time gathering in person. And what that will allow us the opportunity to do is to worship together. For those who would like to, we're still going to practice social distancing, and so we're going to have to mark off the pews. We're going to have to make some other accommodations, and so you will be getting some of that information later in a letter talking about the fact that we have now, they're behind me, these handy dandy thermometers where we are going to be um, doing as they are doing in other places, checking to make sure that persons are good. I didn't do that right. Hold on. There it is. Yep, 98.9. So I'm all right. When you do it right, it's actually fairly quick. As you saw there. So we will be using these thermometers and asking people basic questions to make sure that we will all be safe while we're in here together. And so you will be receiving information via further videos, but also you will receive some information via email and possibly snail mail that talks about the steps that we will be taking as we have started to hold in-person worship services inside the building. Until then, until we come back in the building, we will continue with our normal parking lot services. We will be hosting, of course, Sunday school via Zoom for those who want to watch on Zoom and take part. And also, if you ever want to stop me and ask a question, that's fine too. But also, it will be broadcast on Facebook. And then, of course, our worship service will be broadcast on Facebook. Now, when we do come back together, our worship service will probably not look like it looked pre-COVID. And so we will go with an abbreviated service. It will probably be the same format that we're using on our parking lot worship service, which keeps our worship service to about 45 minutes. And so, we want to get people in and get people out. Right now, we are still discussing in our leadership team our protocols for sanitizing our sanctuary and other areas. At this time, when we do open, we will not be able to, for health reasons, we will not be able to offer nursery services right off for our 6 and under kids. We will ask that if you have small children and you choose to bring them, that you are bringing them, but you understand that you're going to keep them with your family group. It would be our preference to, and you will hear me say this from here on out, that if you, for whatever reason, medical reason, you have a medical condition, or you fall into one of the target groups with heart, respiratory, or other issues that are going on, well, we would love to have you here. If your case is one where you need to take the precautions, to please stay at home and just worship with us online. I know that there is a need for us to have that connectivity. One of the other things that we're going to ask is that everyone still wear their mask while inside the building. We will not have much fellowship time as far as persons hugging and kissing and all those things. People like to hug and give the kiss on the cheek and all those things. We won't be doing those things when we come back in the building. Also, we will make sure that as we are coming together, we will not be passing out programs or anything like that. Our service will be a very short format, and we will be using our projection screen to move us through all those things. The challenge will be we are looking at how we will set up there will be zones where persons can sit, where families can sit in these zones in the sanctuary. And once someone has occupied a zone, if you are not of direct relation and household with that person, then we ask you to sit in another zone. One of the great things about our sanctuary is that we do have space. We think for everyone who would like to attend, and to be at distance. And we will be looking and working on things. You will be required to sanitize your hands when you come in this, when you first come in the building. Everyone will be required to sanitize their hands and wear their mask for the duration. We also will are discussing the possibility of having persons, sign a declaration that they, have not been sick in the last 72 to 96 hours. They have not had a fever in the last 96 hours. They will have not been in contact with anybody knowingly who is infected with the virus in the last 96 hours or in the last week, And we'll get a copy of that form out to everyone so that people will see it, so that everybody will understand what our process will be. I want you to know that myself and our leadership team has been working tirelessly to make sure that things that need to happen need to go on here at Bethany still continue to go on, and that we're making the proper preparations for when we are together again. Also, we have had graduates, and we are proud of our graduates, those who have transitioned from high school on. Some are going to college, some are going into the working world, some are going into trades. We also have some middle schoolers who are becoming high schoolers, and so On that day, it looks like August 2nd, will also be an opportunity for us to have a time of celebration for our graduates. And as we spend time celebrating with them, we will also have information coming out as to how we will celebrate them. And so we're inviting everybody to come, and bring gifts, and we will publish that information again. You will get it in the Harbinger and via email as we get closer to the date, reminders for that as well. Now, let me say this. We are constantly always looking at the weather and at the numbers for the COVID virus here in our area. We're looking at the corona numbers all the time here in our area. And as we are looking at them, we are making determinations based on what we hear from medical professionals and from denominational leaders as to what we should or should not be looking to do. And so as we get closer to that August 1st date, we will also be looking to say whether or not we will be able to open on August 1st, or if we need to push it back to September. The goal is August 1st right now, but just be reminded that if we have to push it back to September for the sake of the safety of the congregation, we will. I want to also thank you for your giving. Thank you for all that you have been giving, in tithes, offerings, and for donations to our food pantry, and for those that have been helping out with our community table. We are still doing the community table work, and we still need donations for our food pantry. As we are coming together during this time to be the hands and feet of Christ, we are having requests from persons who need food and other supplies. And so we're asking people who can to donate non-perishable items to our food pantry, cereals and canned goods and pastas and beans and rice and all those things that are the staples that families need. We're constantly in need of replenishment because we are right now between 30 and 40 families that we're helping out every month. And so we do not see that need going down. It will either stay where it is, if not go up in the coming months. And so your support is needed there. Also with our love fund, we need support in our love fund. And so if you can, if you are able, we're asking all who are able, if everyone can give just an extra offering for our love fund to make sure that we have monies in there when there are folks in need that we can help. It is always appreciated. One of the things that we are wanting everyone to be mindful of as we're moving through this time, after talks and considerations, the leadership team has decided that we would sign the letter as issued by our denomination, asking all congregations to affirm that they are anti-racist, pro-reconciling congregations. After conversations on this Monday night, our leadership team, we decided that our congregation needed to sign the letter for the denomination stating that Bethany Christian Church is an anti-racism, pro-reconciliation, congregation. What that means is that as a congregation of people, we join with our denomination globally, nationally, and regionally, as well as here locally, doing the work of fighting racism wherever we find it. And that does not require of us any huge effort other than the part that we are taking the opportunities to make sure that we are spreading the love of God, being willing to speak out. I'm sure many of you have already seen the video that I put out about a week and a half or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, and have heard the words from our regional minister, and have had opportunities to have conversations with others around us. The challenge for us today is to not be silent, whether it's racism, sexism, classism, ageism, homophobia, any of those things. We're called as Christians to speak out, to be the voice of God in the midst of chaos and turmoil. And so we signed saying that we would stand and hold up the charge of Christ, which is to love our neighbor as we love God and ourselves. And so that is who we are called to be. And so I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that, because in our current climate, our current times, I believe that it is up to the church to be who God has called us to be, and it's required of us to be loud. It's required of us sometimes to open our mouth, to put our feet to the ground. And in that vein, we have agreed to allow to partner with One Vote, One Voice here in Roanoke to host a voter registration drive this coming Monday at our church from 6 to 7:30. And what that will entail is us allowing them to come in to use our facility, our parking lot, to sign up persons to register to vote, to make sure that persons who are not registered but who are eligible to vote are able to do so in this coming elections in November. Also, it gives people the opportunity who, for reasons of having a troubled past, who now are trying to get their lives together, an opportunity to find out the information needed for rights restoration so that they might be able to vote in November. So that is one of the first steps we're taking as a congregation, saying that we are going to be an active member of our community and going to be those persons who stand up for right and encourage the world around us. I think we have to, as we are going through this time, remember to pray for each other. Remember to pray not just for yourself, but to pray for our entire congregation, for all of our members, whether near or far. We want to continue to lift each other up. Lift me up in prayer. I have said this on more than one occasion, that there is no class in seminary that prepares you for how to pastor during a pandemic. I just want to say I love you all and I miss you all. And I would give you all a big hug if I could. So I'm just going to give a big air hug right here. Know that your pastor is praying for you. Know that I love you. Know that you are missed. Know that you are cared for. Know that you are not forgotten. Know this, and as you know this, it is my prayer and my concern for all of us that as we move through this time, that we stay connected to each other, and then more importantly, stay connected to Christ. One of the challenges that we have is to be the bridge, to be those people who allow love to be the ruling force in our lives. And in doing so, we allow ourselves to be the bridge builders between opposing groups of people. What we need now is more love and not hate. What we need now is more care and understanding and compassion than anything else. And looking at the weather for this Sunday, looks like there might be a bit of rain this coming Sunday. It's an 80% chance of rain as of right now. And so if it does rain on Sunday morning, just know that we will do the service. Everything will be virtual. I will come in. We will do everything either inside, and so we will be in the sanctuary, and that will be an opportunity for us then. So we don't want anyone, if it's raining, to try to come out and brave the rain. My prayer is that the rain will hold off as it has, but if it does not, we will still have service. Everyone will just have to watch virtually. To that end, if you are at home, it is my hope and my prayer that as we do communion, that you are taking communion with us. I will pray over all the elements, and that prayer will extend to the elements that you have. You you use the things that you have. If you have crackers and grape juice, if you've got crackers and real wine, if you've got a loaf of bread and water, whatever you have, don't be concerned with that, because whatever you have will be fine. Um, Once again, I just want to tell you that I love you. I am proud to be your pastor. I am thankful for your willingness to work and walk and be with us as we walk this walk together. One of the challenges that we have is that we're wanting to end the strife and end things. And I encourage people not to allow themselves to get too far off track emotionally when it comes to watching all the things that are going on in the news. To make sure you stay centered and stay sane. Take a cheap break. Do whatever you have to do to stay safe. In Jesus' name. This has been Pastor Kevin McNeil here at Bethany Christian Church. God bless you.